using what's valuable to you as a person and as a human being, what you have and what's so intrinsic to you can never be replaced by AI.
Welcome to Platform Z, or Z, whichever you prefer. Join me, Noah Lennon, as I speak with my generation about a range of topics and themes in the present day. Hello, we are back. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas, if you celebrate, that is, and are feeling good, not too full after all of that food. Thank you for tuning in to the 18th episode of the podcast. Today, I'm conversing with an intelligent, curious, innovative young man venturing his way through the creative industries after achieving an impressive AAA star at A-level, alongside an A in his extended project qualification on how artificial intelligence will affect the job market in 10 years. He then went on to study at the London School of Economics and Political Science, otherwise known as LSE, graduating in 2024 with a BSc degree in management. He's currently working as a marketing assistant at Fully Focused Productions, as well as Young Actors Theatre Islington, which is actually where I did a foundation course in acting from 2023 to 2024. He's got some exciting projects lined up for 2026, some of which he may mention in the episode. He's a good friend of mine and a cordial, dedicated, and humorous spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Newton Ndukuba.
Thank you for having me, honestly. I've been wanting to go on the show for such a long time. To have the honor to come on it and express my thoughts, yeah, man, I'm really enjoying it.
Of course. Thank you for coming on. And just to tell the listeners as well, we actually recorded an episode, but the quality of the mic and the audio, it just, in editing,
dark.
it was not. Yeah. It wasn't good enough for the standard. You know what I mean? Thank you for coming on again. And yeah, let's get into it. So we're going to be talking about AI and the job market in today's episode. Newton, I wanted to start off talking about the EPQ. If you were listening attentively in the introduction, you will have picked up that Newton completed an extended project qualification, EPQ, in how artificial intelligence will affect the job market in 10 years. I suppose to begin with, Newton, would you care to explain to us what the project consisted of?
Yeah, so basically in year 12, everyone at rugby school had to do an EPQ. We had to do loads of research on what we want to explore. And then during that process, one of my very close uncles, so one of his points of view was like, AI is the future. And he genuinely thinks that it's going to change the world. And that was 8 years ago? No, was that 8 years ago or something like that? He was like an innovative spirit. So genuinely looking at AI was such an incredible topic. And when it got to getting my A, they were like, this topic alone had a threshold because it's looking straight into the future, which they love. So from research to writing the essay, which was so long because I had to balance that with mocks, balance that with getting predicted grades. So it was a struggle, but we thank God that I got an A because it was looking a bit shaky at some points.
Wow. That's so interesting around that older figure, the uncle figure telling you about AI being the future. The older generations seem to view AI in a very positive light. They think it's the future and they think it's going to help bring in more jobs rather than eliminate jobs. That is really the big discussion around AI is it more positive than negative?
I think it's a double barrel. From one point, we're entering the disruption phase of AI, whereby if we look at the likes of the Industrial Revolution, they replaced muscles with machinery, but now we're replacing menial intelligence with artificial intelligence. So for the repetitive jobs that don't take much labor, don't take much thought, they will be replaced. In those of articles, they're saying how if you look at a normal distribution graph, AI produces results that are in the normal because they use loads of anecdotes from what humans have thought about before. However, I think in the future, as we look at what jobs will look like in the future, the freaks will survive, the ones that are innovative thinkers, the ones that are very creative. I feel those will be the ones that are leading the manpower.
When I was researching as well, the main argument was that white collar jobs, occupations that work behind a desk, so like an accountant or a lawyer, those jobs are the ones more at risk compared to blue collar jobs. So jobs that are requiring physical labor. And many have argued that those jobs are more insulated because AI can't do the physical work or the human interaction yet. I didn't realize that there's different types of AI. Generative AI, Google Gemini, and then, of course, OpenAI, ChatGPT. And then you have agentic AI, and that's built on the same model as generative AI, but it also has the ability to perform tasks on the user's behalf. Rather than a generative AI planning a holiday, the agentic AI can actually book the holiday and do those actions.
And Disney just did a deal, well, they're coming up to a deal with OpenAI, and that's giving them the rights of they can use the IP, can't use their voice, and like there's a limit to what you can do. By having that, we're democratizing what we think film is looking like really right now. We're making the barrier to entry working in film, etc., so much easier than it was before. Looking at one eye, you can say AI is so good because it democratizes everything. But at the same time, people that think beyond what AI is saying will use AI as a superpower. Like I use it as my personal assistant.
You say you use it as a personal assistant. What does that consist of?
I'm a person that has dyslexia. I don't use ChatGPT for any research. With my job, it's mainly like marketing and branding. So I would look at what Forbes are saying. I'll look at what all the news articles are saying. I'll look at consumer behavior. I would think so outside of the box. And then after I've got all of that, I've got like 10 to 15 pages of research. I'll ask ChatGPT to like summarize it so I can show it to like my boss and say, is this like a good piece of work? Is this like rewritten in like a nice fluid way? So yeah, I literally use it as a personal system whereby it gets all of my thoughts and then writes it in like a really, really nice way so it's comprehensible.
And have you found that it's been useful to do that? Has it always produced good results, good work?
No. Because of the different models. Chat's very cheeky. It will give me the wrong answer because it wants me to buy the plus version.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Chat knows what it's doing. At the same time, like businesses are all money motivated. Chat's also money motivated, or the people behind ChatGPT is money motivated.
Yeah, because of course, AI can also produce inaccurate work. And we've seen that before. Definitely with ChatGPT, really be careful if you are going to use it, asking it questions that they may have correct responses depending on the question that you ask it, but they also might have misinformation. Yeah, I mean, for me, I just don't use it. I really don't. But at the same time, I see why people use AI. For me, I just still can't trust it. AI also has big environmental impact. The data centers that house AI, the AI servers, they produce a huge amount of electronic waste using large amounts of water. And then the chip that you need to create AI, it relies on critical minerals and rare elements, and they're often mined unsustainably. And also because of the heavy use of electricity in these huge data centers, that is causing a lot of greenhouse gas emissions. So the production of AI is still not ethical due to the amount of waste that it's producing. I feel a lot of our generation feel that they have to use it. Otherwise, they will be left behind. Of course, we are the future leaders. We are the next generation. For us, it's going to be there regardless. Even looking at the way the AI has evolved from a content perspective on videos, on social media and images, and the way that has developed has been quite scary because it's gotten very, very good very quickly. The main point is about, for me, the regulations and rules around it. We see a lot of AI being used in dark and dangerous ways, especially on social media. I'm very anti-AI. Or that's what I had in my head before coming in. I'm quite
pro-AI, so this is an incredible conversation.
And of course, like, we're both here to learn, so I'm not coming in with that fixed mindset.
But like, if we also look at what companies are doing, like on a personal situation, I wouldn't really use AI. However, on like a career point of view, I would say it's very, very critical. If you look at what Duolingo are doing, they're not testing people based on solely their productivity, but also how compatible or how collaborative they are with AI. A lot of companies are trying to do that because they see AI first and then human second. Facebook are doing it, Duolingo are doing it, etc. So if you're not locked in with AI, if you want to say it like that. If you're not using it very, very productively, I feel you're going to be left behind. A positive message would be like, it's a genuine time where your authentic self can shine. Using what's valuable to you as a person and as a human being, what you have and what's so intrinsic to you can never be replaced by AI.
That's a great way to finish, definitely. That human value is so important. Value yourself over AI. It's great that you can use it as a tool, and it's great that you can take what you can from it. And of course, that's going to be different for everyone, but value your own skills, your own assets over that. And really, like you say, just lean into that, lean into what makes you you, because at the end of the day, a computer is not going to be able to copy the human elements. Moving on to the Platform Z quickfire questions. Are you ready, Newton?
I'm born ready, bro. I'm born ready.
What was the most recent thing that inspired you?
Ooh, I'd say my mum. My mum flew to Nigeria 2 days ago. My mum traveled business class to go to Nigeria. She got there quite late, but when she got there, because she got business class, they got taken to the lounge. She got offered champagne. Like, bro, that really inspired me because I see my mum working 24/7, literally trying to support family. But she's gone to a higher level where she's not really supporting, but she's exceeding still. My pops are exceeding still. But they've got to a level whereby they're worked so hard and they're actually reaping the rewards of going, for example, business class and receiving luxurious treatment to go home. So that inspired me because it just showed that hard work truly pays off, even if it takes almost a decade. Everything is attainable. How about yourself?
Waking up today, I'm gonna be real. Something so simple, but it's a blessing. Every day could be your last. It's a miracle to be living.
Amen.
What is your goal for this month? Or for next month, because it's the end of December?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would see January as like a foundation. So I think the goal is genuinely laying out the foundations for what I want for the next 11 months of the year, whether that be career, whether that be personal. Like one of my personal projects is hidden in the credits that show that I'm creating. We're collaborating with LSE and we're going to do like a live pilot show in hopefully February, whereby like Gen Z and like different audiences from the film industry, the students can come and genuinely like interact with people. We're already in the planning stages of that, and also we're fully focused on establishing myself. So if I can build a strong foundation which can last me in the next tenure of the year, whether that be creating a positive structure for my talk show in terms of marketing, in terms of utilizing different studios. Also, I can't neglect family. I can't neglect my connection with God. I can't neglect any other things that I might take for granted. So although career is at the front of my mind, I got to stay grounded and make sure that family, friends, also my relationship with God is still the foundation of all of that. So that's my goal for January.
What's one bad habit that you need to get rid of?
I would say I'm quite confident and charismatic. People might disagree. Actually, no, I don't think people would disagree. But I would say a bad habit is like overthinking, thinking more than doing, thinking that although I've prepared so much for something, I'm not, like, if I'm being so real, I'm not at the level of like the best of the best. And that takes a knock on self-confidence. I've still got to have the confidence that I can achieve anything and everything.
What does joy look like to you?
Right now, joy is waking up every day, as you said, praying to God, developing my relationships as well. That's what joy looks like to me, because when I get that certain call from a certain someone or like a friend or literally like someone I haven't spoken to in a long time, and that first laughter, there's nothing to replace it. Although money is so good for, my parents told me this yesterday, money is so good for comfortability. Like my mom was able to go on the flight because of comfortability and like money that she's raised. However, the pure joy that everyone gets is through talking to their loved ones. Yeah, nothing can replace it.
When have you felt the most love?
Ooh, love. Ooh. Okay, I would say at church. This was a couple months ago when I left Universal, and I was transitioning to like fully focused, but I was still at a certain stage, and I was in church, and they played a song that was like, "And I'll throw up my hands and praise you again and again, 'Cause all that I have is a hallelujah, a hallelujah. And I know it's not much, but I have nothing else fit for a king except for a heart singing hallelujah, hallelujah. That song played, and I broke down in tears. I'm keeping it so real. And then one of the pastors, there was like multiple pastors around. One of them came up to me, and then after he prayed with me, that moment of like pure vulnerability, I was able to like connect that with my pastor and also the people in the church that were going through similar stuff. So I would say that's when I felt most loved.
Wow, that's so powerful. What's the one thing you'd change in today's society? Final question.
I would say, although money is very important, people's obsession with money, like money is the root of all evil. A lot of people fantasize so much over money. And although money is so important because it gives stability, but a lot of people like they define their love of money, and I think that is an issue because if there's too much of an obsession with it, then it controls you.
Okay, that's the end of another episode. Thank you so much, Newton, for coming on. Please take a moment now to tell the listeners where they can find you, what you've got going on, what you've got coming up. Talk to them.
Hey, my name is Newton. Thank you so much for having me on the show. You can find me on my Instagram is Newton Ndukuba, spelled NEWTON.NDU. Things I've got coming up is my show in collaboration with the London School of Economics. And we're going to be doing like a live pilot. It's going to be very interactive. We're still in the works of it now, but we're penciled in a date. And I'm just getting guests right now. So that's kind of what I've got going on, but still balanced like with fully focused work, but also working at my parents' chocolate shop. But yeah, that's kind of on a professional level. Personal, everything's going really, really good as well. I went back last year and say, what have I got going on? It's nothing compared to what I've got going on now. So every day is a blessing to me, thank God.
That's amazing, bro. That's amazing. And to the listeners, quickly before we finish the episode, if you listen to any Platform Z episode in 2025, thank you. This is the last episode of the year. I hope you have a wonderful new year, and I'll see you all in 2026. We've got a couple more episodes, and then that'll be the end of season 1. Thank you all. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.